What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and I've landed in Qatar for the FIFA World Cup 2022. I'm really excited to be here for the finals. I made a last-minute decision, and after a 13-hour flight, the stage is set for tomorrow. It's the finals between France and Argentina. Will France defend their world title, or will Argentina win their first championship in 36 years, and the first one for Leo Messi? I'm really excited to see what's going to happen, but in this video, we're going to take you guys around the city, show you guys the incredible architecture and history, but also attend the World Cup final and show you guys the incredible experience. It's actually the first time I've attended a football match, and so I'm really excited to see what the atmosphere is all about, because it is really a sport and a tournament that unites the entire world. And as someone who's traveled around the world this year, it is really nice to be able to end our crazy itinerary in Doha. Throughout this trip, we're also going to be capturing some photos on the Vivo X80 Pro smartphone. Vivo is the official smartphone of the 2022 World Cup, and the X80 Pro has some incredible features up its sleeve, especially with the partnership with Zeiss. After a super packed week of exciting stuff and videos that you guys are going to be seeing in the new year, we're only here for 2 days, so let's go ahead and get started. So one of the things I was most excited for, believe it or not, was the flight. Having taken so many flights throughout my life and over 120 this year alone, I've had the chance to experience multiple different flight experiences in airlines, and one that I've been wanting to try out for a while is Qatar Airways and their award-winning Q Suite. The Qatar Airways Q Suite won the award for the best business class experience in 2022 because it has a lot of great traits that have combinations of privacy and comfort that often get attributed to first class suites at much higher prices. From the amount of space in the seat, to the great UI and TV experience, the amazing food and service. What I really liked about it is that there is so much room for storage within the suite itself, but of course the door that is able to close to give you the ultimate privacy and rest, and that was definitely something that I needed after coming from New York and LA for a triple header off to Qatar in a 16-hour flight. We went down to the Corniche waterfront in the morning to see the beautiful sunrise in the morning of the World Cup final. It was a beautiful boardwalk along the bay and a stunning view of the financial center and boats of the water, and with the desert hues and the sunrise glow, it was just setting the stage for what is going to be an incredible day. The city of Doha itself is quite unique. Being built in such an environment like the desert, its unique skyscrapers look even more dramatic and imposing, with a very unique touch of style that you only find in this region of the world. You could see the massive effort in decorating these buildings for the World Cup everywhere you went, and you could see Qatari flags and World Cup banners that also continue to embrace the world flags of all the different countries participating in this world event. We also wanted to check out some of the unique architecture in the area, so we toured the local museums that are famous for their design. The Museum of Islamic Art also had a gorgeous courtyard and fountains with views of the harbor. The National Museum of Qatar was also one of a kind and one of the spots that I wanted to check out during this trip. The disc-like structures stacked on top of each other with a unique design and pattern really resembled the elements of the desert, and at different times of day, the way the sun hits it gives it a very unique look every time you visit. One of the coolest places we visited though was the markets. The shift to traditional buildings and structures was cool, especially coupled with the shops and products that they were selling, such as rugs and pots. The mosque in the Qatar Cultural Village was also stunning and colorful, and it was really interesting to see the locals coming in and out for their prayers. The restaurants were also selling traditional food, and the atmosphere was very vibrant. Overall, walking through these ancient streets and markets was a really incredible experience, and I feel like a small dose of history and culture of the area is something that I really recommend for any visitor. So everywhere we went, whether it was the market, the financial area, or waterfront, you could really feel the energy of the World Cup, specifically on the World Cup Finals game day. After a month of great matchups, and arguably what was the most exciting and also surprising in some ways World Cup in recent memory, There were plenty of local and international fans cheering and chanting in excitement for the final game. The overall sentiment that I saw was that the French fans in Qatar were rooting for a repeat victory, but the rest of the world was going for Argentina and, more importantly, Lionel Messi and his coveted World Cup that he has been waiting for his entire career. The amount of Argentinian support was nothing short of impressive, and literally millions of fans poured into the areas surrounding the stadium and other fan areas around Doha to support their teams and also celebrate this incredible event. To see a world game like football and its fans was an experience that I was seeing for the very first time.
High noon on a sizzling summer's day in Buenos Aires. 4 o'clock on a chill Parisian Sunday afternoon. Nightfall in Doha. The final of the 22nd World Cup. France again, or Argentina at last?
Being in the Argentina section, but also sitting next to a couple French fans, it was just crazy to see the amount of emotion going back and forth. The adrenaline took a couple days to wear off, and just being in that building for this incredible game is really part of my effort to try to pivot towards attending more experiences while also being able to capture it and share it with the world on YouTube. Football is just so unique in how the entire world tunes in however they can, and whether it's watching on TV or someone else's or an iPhone, it really brings people together unlike anything else. And although it might seem crazy to fly all the way from Canada to Qatar, to be able to be there in person, this is a story that I'll continue to tell for the rest of my life.
Montiel.
The following morning, we woke up nice and early to set out for a tour in the desert. They picked us up in the classic early 2000s Toyota 4Runner and headed out of the city, and the first stop of our desert adventure was to hit the sand dunes in some ATVs. I've never been in the Middle East before, so being able to check out the deserts and the sand dunes is something that I was really looking forward to. And it really put perspective as to just how new Qatar is as a country in terms of its development. Our driver was absolutely crazy and wanted to give us the full experience in that 4Runner as he bounced around the sand dunes and took us to an incredible view of the Persian Gulf. We also tried sandboarding, which really didn't go as well as I expected, but it was a really fun day nevertheless, and a really good way to cap off our Qatar experience. These films are really ones that we enjoy doing the most because it allows us to see the culture, the city, as well as a bit of nature, while also enjoying a world-class event like the World Cup or Formula One like we've done in the past. So now I'm back from Qatar, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the photos that I captured on the Vivo X80 Pro smartphone. I really tried to test every lens, and I feel like in this trip we had the scenarios to be able to kind of go between the different ranges and take a look at the characteristics from that. So right off the bat, I would say the images were relatively easy to edit. They had a good level of contrast and vibrance, and I was able to, through editing, get the look that I really enjoy when it comes to like the filmic and vibrant tone with certain areas of the photo desaturated. It was able to capture a really good level of color, and the sharpness and everything can all be attributed to the partnership with Zeiss, which obviously is known for excellence in image quality. What I really liked about a phone like this though is that I was able to have a very wide range of focal lengths. So for example, when I was at the Lusail Stadium, you could tell my seats were relatively far. And so by utilizing the 5x optical zoom periscope lens, I was able to zoom into the field and capture that moment. Whereas in the sand dunes, we kind of just used the wide angle camera to be able to show just how, I guess, bare and open the place that we was. Beyond that though, from utilizing different lenses, you can capture a different dimension of a photo, including this scenario with the camels, for example, where there's one photo where you kind of see all of them walking around, but then one where you zoom into the details of the face, and just the amount of color there really came through with the editing. I personally really like to go ahead and edit the photos in Lightroom to get the specific look because each photo is so different, and I would say the different focal lengths of the camera were relatively consistent to some degree, but with some minor editing experience, you can really try to match them and get a different look out of each lens. We also utilize the 50 megapixel high resolution mode to capture details of architecture, for example, which also gives you the option to recrop to different areas because of that high resolution. But otherwise, you don't really want to take photos in the high resolution every time just because of the file size, both for editing, storage, and uploading to social media. So all in all, you can take a look at the photos here and let me know down in the comment section below as to what you think of the photos that we captured on the Vivo X80 Pro. So it's been an absolutely incredible time here in Qatar, and honestly, it was a last-minute decision, just like a lot of things on the channel, but I'm so excited for you guys to check out the content that we have planned in the new year. There's just been so many incredible trips that we're still continuing to process the footage of, and I mean, there's no better way to cap it off than the World Cup final in Qatar 2022. This is a world stage event that only happens once every 4 years, and so when I was trying to decide whether or not we should add this extra trip to the calendar, I figured I've never visited the Middle East before, and there's no better time to do it than now, and it was absolutely worth it. This long flight here and the amount of money that I spent on those nosebleed tickets, I mean, it was just such a great way to cap off the year, and I hope you guys enjoyed coming along and seeing the experience, and also enjoyed watching the game at home. So as always, if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you go ahead and drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below as to where we should travel to next year, because we visited over 30 different places this year, as well as 120 flights. So I'm curious to know if you guys would like us to visit the same places again or check out some new destinations. Just drop a comment down below, and I'll see you all in the next video.